Good evening, Gills fans. Welcome back to the latest episode of Gills in the Blood TV. It is Thursday evening, which this week means looking back at the Wimbledon defeat on Tuesday night before being joined by Freddie and Hugh, who both host and contribute to the PO Forecast, which is a Pompey podcast. And then obviously looking ahead to that game at Fratton Park on Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m. But first things first, the news has broken this week that the road out of lockdown is in place. And the biggest news for football fans, that was from the 17th of May, we will be allowed to return to football stadiums in some capacity. Obviously, for the Gills, that means we would have to get to the playoffs for us to be able to watch our team in the flesh this season, which is highly unlikely, let's put it that way. And Steve Evans did confirm after Tuesday's defeat that he thinks the playoff push is over. We're just far too inconsistent, and I think most fans would agree with that. But yeah, in terms of coronavirus and COVID, and something that we've spoken about far too much over the last 11 months, finally there is a big light at the end of what's been a very long tunnel, and it looks like the summer could be quite exciting. There's also talk today of Euro 2020, or Euro 2021 as it will be now, being hosted solely in England. So it looks like a decision is going to be made by April. That'd be highly exciting for those that have got tickets, and potentially those that haven't would be able to, if there's obviously more games to be watched and played in England. So something to look forward to. And like I say, a light at the end of the tunnel. But back to Tuesday night, unfortunately, we lost 1-0 to a last minute goal from Jack Rudoni. Decent hit, I said at the time, but Jack Bollum for me should do better. Gets both hands on it, but it goes through them. Second error in consecutive Tuesdays for Jack, which is very unlike him, but I'm sure he'll bounce back at the weekend and moving forward. It was a poor first half, wasn't it? It was ugly, it was bitter, it was stop-start. There was no real quality from either side, and like Steve Evans said, it looked like two teams that were in the bottom four, and whether we got dragged down to their level, it was just a poor game. But we was level at the break, and I said on the match day live that if we made the right changes, because I thought there would have been some changes because we weren't good enough first period, then we had quality from the bench, the likes of Jordan Graham, Tyreek Johnson and the such, who could come on and change it for us in an offensive fashion. And we did. We made a couple of changes at half time, and Stuart O'Keefe and Jordan Graham improved us. Graham's first touch nearly led to a goal, but in truth, we didn't really test the home keeper enough. And we got done by that sucker punch right at the end, which then unfortunately turns what was an average performance, but a decent clean sheet and a decent point on the road, into a poor display. And like I say, Steve Evans has said the playoff dream's over. We can't expect to gate crash the top six, can we, if we're going to be losing to teams that had lost 5 on the bounce on their own patch before kickoff, which was really frustrating. But it's out of the way now. It's how we react, which is most important. And we do travel to Fratton Park on Saturday to take on this team. Kenny Jackets Pompey, currently sitting in around the playoff places, but I'm sure their fans would be hopeful that if they can put a run together, and they certainly have a squad capable, they could still gate crash the top 2 and go up automatically. Their record in the playoffs isn't great, is it, over recent years? And I'm sure they wouldn't want the lottery of them playoffs. But Portsmouth in a good position. But to get more inside information on Pompey, I'm going to leave you now with Hugh and Freddie from the PO Forecast. So here's what they have to say about Saturday's opponents.
All right, thanks, Matt, for having us on your vlog. It's Hugh here from the Pompey PO Forecast podcast, here with my co-host Freddie Webb, and we're here to give you the lowdown on everything you need to know about Pompey ahead of the weekend's game on Saturday. So, where do we start about Portsmouth? It's been an up and down season for the Blues. Hopes of automatic promotion, a slow start. We then picked up the pace, and then it sort of slowed down again. Playoffs look like it could be the answer again for the season. Could be the conclusion even. It's a mixed one. Pompey are very unpredictable, so we're going to try now to give you our best breakdown of exactly how we think the game's going to go. Freddie?
Yeah. For Gills fans, I assume it's a bit weird to see Portsmouth fans all over Twitter whenever they lose, complaining about the manager, complaining about seemingly everything. I think the best, the bit all I'll say is this is the boom or bust season for Portsmouth. Kenny Jackets on his last year of his contract. 11 players are on their last year as well. It's almost like the final 30 pages of an epic novel. It's all going to come ahead, and the small margins in this league of how competitive it is. Portsmouth's aspirations are top 2. So whenever Portsmouth lose and all the other promotion rivals win, it's a massive dig and a massive loss.
Yeah, we keep saying, don't we? This is the game we need to win. Like, if we don't win this game, it's going to have a massive impact on the season. And this is the one that, will define whether we're a playoff team or whether we're an automatic team. But you can see at the moment with Peterborough winning 5 games in a row, going top of the league. If you want to be in that top 2, you've got to keep winning. And at the moment, Portsmouth aren't doing that at a consistent level. So when we're going at the weekend, what Portsmouth team is going to turn up? Is it going to be the team that lost the 3-1 to Bristol Rovers, who, let's be honest, haven't been doing that well this season? Or is it going to be the team that scraped by Oxford on Tuesday night, away from home with a good 1-0 win? It's difficult to predict because Kenny Jackett hasn't been setting up the team in the same way to play against different teams. So whether you'll see the 4-3-3, a 4-2-3-1, or a 4-4-2 is still going to be up in the air. I think Kenny's going to stick with the 4-4-2, which got the result against Oxford. Who plays in the middle? I think we're going to have Tom Naylor start in the centre of midfield, our captain, the player who breaks all the play up for us. He's the engine in the centre of midfield. He's a player who your centre midfielder is going to have to look for to try and win that battle in the middle. Up front, again, it's a little bit of a lottery. John Marquis is probably the striker that you guys know. Obviously, he used to play for Gillingham as well, so you guys are already quite familiar with him. However, he's not been on best form at the moment, which has led to Ellis Harrison and Ronan Curtis, playing for Ireland as well, who has played up front before, but usually plays wide on the left, starting as the front 2. They weren't overly they weren't convincing enough that makes me think they'll definitely start again in this game against Gillingham as well. So whether John Marquis gets restored to the starting lineup will be quite an interesting thing.
Yeah, precisely. Portsmouth have been up and down recently, so there's no settled team anymore. The fixture congestion is really getting to them. I'm sure it's getting to the Gills players as well with all the injuries they're having. Portsmouth can't play the same way every week with the same players anymore. Just match fitness wise, it's going to go downhill, and it has done in certain games. They can't do what they did earlier in the season where they got 6 clean sheets on the bounce, playing the same starting 11 in a pressing 4-4-2. They can't keep doing that. They'll run out of legs by the end of the season. So that's why we're not really sure about what team will come up. I think that it'll be the same back 4. So the back 4 will be Callum Johnson, ex-Accrington Stanley on right back. Very good defender, can go forward, rips in good crosses. Rasmus Nikolaisen on loan from FC Midtjylland, Danish young central defender, very good at passing the ball, very good at breaking out play. Sean Raggett probably next to him. Played pretty much every game for Portsmouth, very more traditional centre half, good at winning the balls from crosses and so on. And Lee Brown next to him, a solid left back. And Craig McGilvery in goal, best goalkeeper in the league by a country mile. So I think that's the only stability that will be in this side, but how they'll set up and what game plan they'll go into, who knows. Some of the key Gills players that worry me, Dempsey, if he plays, he looks like an exceptional player. Verdane Oliver, I used to watch him play at York City. He looks miles better than when he was playing at York City back then. Very good target man. And for me, Connor Ogilvie, excellent left back. Excellent left back from a defensive
We wanted him,
standpoint.
didn't we, Fred? We wanted him.
Yeah, he was on my article for players I wanted Portsmouth to go after. They need to extend him at the end of the season for me. He'd be a massive loss if he's not there. Key Portsmouth players who will impact this game a lot. I'd see Ronan Curtis either if he plays on the left wing or up front. Very direct. He's very full on, passionate. Wants to get in everybody's face, and to get on the ball. Very direct. I think he'll help Portsmouth in whatever setup they play. I don't know, Hugh, what you think of that.
I think we've got players who have got the ability to be game breakers. We've got the likes of Curtis. If he's not on form, though, you could see someone like Marcus Harness again. Very technical, quick feet, likes to take your defenders on. Again, he's got the ability to score goals or set goals up as well. So it really depends on who's actually firing at the moment. It's not been one player as such. We're not looking at someone like Sammy Smodics, who people say, watch out for Smodics playing for a different team, or you're going to highlight one particular player for Portsmouth. Portsmouth's attack is pretty well spread out between different types of players. So it will be interesting, but I think Ronan Curtis starting up front might happen again. If he does, he'll be looking to have a really big game. and he'll be looking to score goals. I know Freddie's later on has predicted him to score 2. So we'll see if he's right. That's about all I could think of before. Apart from, please put a roof on your stand. It's freezing.
Yeah, I've been there, and it's not nice. It's not nice. I live up north, and I've lived in the northeast for a while, even further north, and it was cold. Please put a roof on your stand.
No, I'm actually joking. I think keep the roof off. It's great. You know, I'll do the same thing. I think Pompey should take their roof off as well, as we chatted to Matt on our podcast. But yeah, good luck for the rest of the season, Gillingham fans, apart from against Pompey. And we'll see who comes out on top on Saturday.
Take care, guys. Bye.
Cheers.
Some really good stuff in there, fellas. Thank you for taking the time out of your evening. I know you was recording your own podcast Wednesday because I made an appearance on it. So thank you for both of you for letting me on that again. And cheers for dropping the video over and giving us more insight into Portsmouth. Looking at the comparative form of the two teams like I do every week. Last 6, Portsmouth have got 3 wins, a draw and 2 defeats in the last half dozen. So that's 10 points from 18 available. Gills, couple of wins, a draw and 3 defeats in the last 6. Defeats against good Lincoln and Peterborough sides, and then that disappointing reverse against a poor Wimbledon side in truth. So 7 points from the last 18 for Gills. Bit in and out. Said that plenty of times, haven't I? On the road, we're the same. It's 7 points from 18 with the same record. 2 wins, a draw and 3 defeats. And at home, Portsmouth a little bit patchy, which is a bit surprising. Lost their last game at home to Blackpool, I think it was. Before that, there was a couple of wins, a draw and a couple more defeats. So they've only got 7 from 18 available in their last 6 at Fratton Park. So is there an opportunity to go there, maybe put in a performance like we did at Accrington, at Sunderland, at Charlton, to give ourselves the best possible chance of getting something out of the game? And we do have a good recent record at Fratton Park, don't we, the last 3 years? So 2019-20 under Steve Evans, drew 0-0, really creditable point, rode our luck. 2018-19, that Tom Eaves goal and an Alex Lacey strike led to a really good 2-0 win. And 2017-18 came from a goal down at half-time. Connor Wilkinson's worldie and 2 absolute peaches from Lee Martin led to a 3-1 victory. So it's a ground that we have fond memories of in recent times. Hopefully we can continue that unbeaten run at the weekend. But looking at Portsmouth, they're a solid squad. They've got good options all over the park, haven't they? You look at who they can call upon, and if someone's injured, they've got someone else who's equally good that can go in and do an equally good job going forward. They've got some really good threats, the likes of John Marquis, who we obviously know from that short loan spell a few years ago, Marcus Harness, Ellis Harrison, Ronan Curtis, all very good players in League One. Sean Raggett, Jack Watmore proved to be 2 really good centre-halves at this level this season. Solid midfield. Andy Cannon, when he was at Rochdale, said he was a pain in the arse to play against. Tom Naylor, Ryan Williams, really good experience at this level, really good ability. Craig McGillivray, I can never pronounce his name, is up there with the best keepers at this level as well. And in the January window, they got young Harvey Whiting, highly sought after from Tottenham, so that's a really good addition for the rest of the season for Pompey. In terms of our team news, no Dominic Samuel still, and no Callum Slattery now for about a month. He's got bruising to his ankle ligaments after going off at half-time, just before half-time against Bristol Rovers last weekend. So for me, I'd make a couple of changes to the defeat. I'd like to see us persist with a diamond, but I'd like to see us get a bit more pace up top, and I'd like to see some flexibility. So my team would be Jack Bonham in goal, Ryan Jackson, Jack Tucker, Robbie Cundy and Connor Ogilvie as a back 4. I'd like Stuart O'Keefe to start this week, and that's whether that's at the base of the diamond or in a pair next to Carl Dempsey. I'd play Ollie Lee in the 10. He's been a bit in and out since that Charlton game, but he's still a very good player at this level, and if you get him on the ball in the right areas, he'll cause problems to Pompey's backline. And then the other 3 for me would be Alex McDonald, Jordan Graham and John Akindi. So then we can fluctuate between a 4-4-2 diamond or a 4-2-3-1, can't we? Because we can pair up O'Keefe and Dempsey with Lee in the 10 and then Graham and McDonald from the sides. Or we can go O'Keefe at the base, Lee at the point, and then Dempsey and McDonald from the sides of the diamond. That leaves me with a bench of Sasha Bastien, Robbie McKenzie, Tommy O'Connor, James Morton, Matty Willock, Tyreek Johnson and Verdane Oliver. 1 goal in 12 for Verdane now. He's still working hard, he's still influencing games, but obviously he's a striker and we want him to be scoring more. And I just think if we can go with that diamond and get John Akindi and Jordan Graham close to each other, we've got real pace that can burst in behind the Portsmouth backline. Right, the burning question as always is the score prediction. Hugh apologised to me after producing his video with Freddie that he forgot to do the score prediction. So I have got them. Hugh says 1-0 to Portsmouth and Freddie's gone 2-0. So they're both optimistic of a home victory. I'm going to be optimistic of a reaction to Tuesday's poor performance. I know we was in on a day off and I'm sure we won't want to be doing that again too often. So I'm going to say, based on recent form and based on our recent performances at Fratton Park, I'm going to say Portsmouth 1, Gillingham 1. I'm going to go a bit out there with our goal scorer this weekend. I'm going to say Conor Ogilvie from a set piece. Right. Thanks for watching as always. Thanks for listening. Thanks again for getting us to 1,500 subscribers. Please keep doing all you're doing, liking, subbing, retweeting, sharing, interacting and all of that. Fan Hub app is now officially online. If you got in early, you'd have beaten the waiting list. It's a really exciting time to be involved with that, so please do check them out. The video for that is at the end of this vlog. And one more shameless plug for my 10-year-old daughter, who shamelessly made the decision recently to have her hair chopped off for charity. It's going to the Prince's Trust, all the money she's raising. And it's basically for young cancer-suffering children to have real hair wigs made to give them their confidence back. So really proud of her, real proud dad moment. I think the £50 target that her mum put on there on the GoFundMe page was smashed within about 3 or 4 hours. Currently at 530. So thanks to everyone who's donated. If you could please keep digging deep, and I will put the link in below this video on YouTube, and it is on my Twitter feed as well. So please, if you could dig deep and get her up to £600, she'd be made up. Right, that is enough from me now, I promise. Thanks for watching, like I've said. Enjoy your Thursday evening. Tomorrow is Friday. We're very close to the weekend. The days are getting longer. The clocks go forward soon. There's plenty to be excited about in terms of the weather, lockdown ending, live sport imminent now. Until next time, up the Gills.